Hi, Adam Spears here with Cross Country Mortgage again. So after one of my previous videos regarding cash out refinance versus home equity line, I received a question about someone's particular situation that they had done a certain amount of work on their home. And so they were wondering, after the work that they had completed, how do we go to determine, what's going to be the new value of the home? And because they had used credit cards and things in order to pay for the materials and labor and other stuff in order to upgrade their home, they're wondering what's the process of now paying off that if I want to take equity out of my house with the new gained value that I have in my home. So I know that sounds a little confusing, but I'm going to walk through the steps. So if you recently completed a project on your home that you think added value, now we're not talking about painting walls or putting new carpet down. We're talking about, have you added a bathroom? Is there upgrades to appliances? Have you upgraded, countertops or cabinets? Things that aren't just aesthetic but actually can gain value, or if you added a bedroom. These are things that are going to increase the value of your home. One of the big ones being finished off a basement. You're definitely going to gain a lot of value in that. And now you maybe paid for that project in cash or used credit cards to pay for that project, and now you would like to eliminate that debt. So this is going to be done with a cash out refinance. Now the way that we are going to determine the new value typically is going to be by getting an appraisal. An appraiser is going to come in, see the work that's been done, the bedroom that's been added, the basement that's been finished, and determine a new value of your home. Now with that new value, we can then determine how much money we can take out and what we're going to end up paying off. Now there's some pretty cool ways that we can do this. Typically, if we're going to pay off credit card debt, at the closing table, those checks are issued directly with that creditor's name on it. So those are going to be paid off directly. If you had just spent cash to do it and maybe needed to pay back your savings, then the cash would come back to you, the individual, in the form of a check at the signing table, as opposed to having to pay closing fees and everything else. The cash would just come back to you, and then you can then put that back in your coffers, your savings. So that's how that would be done. Now there is a way around sometimes getting an appraisal, even on a cash out refinance. It's not typical, but it does happen, especially with how crazy home values are going up right now. But if you would like to learn more about the process and potentially not having to get an appraisal, then feel free to call me and we can discuss, how that would work as well. But for now, let's stick with, getting that appraisal in order to attain that new value. Now, this is going to be the way to pay back those debts that you incurred from all those home projects by just taking that equity out of your house. So the reason why this is really going to make sense is most credit cards, their interest rates are going to be in the 20 to 25% range. Even if you're lucky, maybe it's 17%, whereas cash out refinances, the interest rates are much, much lower now, even on 30 years. So to determine whether or not this particular situation applies to you, if it's something you should move forward with, feel free to call my cell phone or email me here, and we can have a larger discussion about whether or not it makes sense for you. As always, thank you, and we'll see you next week.